Hello, everybody. Welcome to WTCR Rewind. This is the chat show where we throw back to some of our favorite races, our favorite rounds, and chat to some of the key drivers and the key protagonists from that round. Also, as we near finally it's happening, as we get closer to our 2020 season, official beginning, we'll also be having a little look behind the scenes and finding out what our drivers get up to as they lead up to that opening round. Now, this weekend, or the race that we're throwing back to this time is the Nürburgring 2019, the Green Hell, which those of you who watched it, I'm sure, will agree, provided us with three very, very exciting races. So we have a handful of drivers joining us, but before we introduce them, let me introduce you to my co-host, top journalist from motorsport.com, as well as many other places, is Stefan Erlen. Stefan, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you, El.
Whoa, a second. Your backdrop.
Hold on. Ah, yes, the Nordschleife, yes, for sure. The topic of the day,
amazing.
Isn't it?
I'm so jealous. I need this. Is that Ted Bjork behind you as well?
I'm not so sure, to be honest, but I like the scenery. I like the Nordschleife, we all Germans do. And it's a special place to us, so I thought it was a quite fitting backdrop for today's show.
It most definitely is. I've got backdrop envy. So let me introduce to you our home hero of the Nürburgring, Mr. Benny Leuchter. Benny, are you there?
Hello, all together. Hi.
How are you?
Oh, yeah, busy. Quite good. I'm enjoying a bit of free time, but I'm happy that everything get to start right now. So yeah, it's good to be back in business.
Thank you, Benny. I'll have a chat to you again in just a moment. Who else have we got? Let's have a chat to, his lordship, the old fox. It's Mr. Gabriele Tarquini.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Ciao, come stai?
Molto bene. Very, very good. Ready to restart.
I bet you are. You haven't gone into retirement then?
No. I mean, I never retired, and I was supposed to retire. I mean, with this COVID. I mean, I was stronger than the opponent sometimes, but COVID was very, very strong.
Did you actually get it in the end or not?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
At my age can be dangerous, so.
Yeah, when you're as old as you, Gabby. So let's say hello to our last, but by no means least, our very feisty Argentine, Mr. Bebu Girolami.
Hello, everyone. Here I am in Mugello. Here I am at Mugello, during the weekend with my brother this weekend. So I'm back in the game. Happy for that, and yeah, really looking forward for restart the season with the WTCR.
Oh, how is it to be at a circuit? I can't remember how that feels to be in a pit lane.
It feels so good. Yeah, it feels so good. It feels so good. Really, I really miss this feeling before.
So we'll, like I said to the other drivers, we will go into more detail shortly. So, ladies and gents, 25 kilometers long, 154 different corners. It's known as the Green Hell. Stefan, is it your favorite circuit, the Nürburgring?
Well, I guess it must be. Personally, I'm a bit more inclined to say Hockenheim is my favorite track because I grew up racing to like racing at Hockenheim. I saw my first race at Hockenheim, so Hockenheim has a special place in my heart. But obviously, the mother of all racetracks is the Nürburgring Nordschleife. No discussion about it. The Nordschleife is the ultimate racetrack.
And it's just terrifying, isn't it? It's aptly named the Green Hell, and it really is. I mean, boys, you'll agree. Benny, you've done so many laps around there. We will go into that shortly. But does it ever get less scary?
No, of course not. Every lap there is so special and unique with the weather, with the conditions. I've been there the last week, the whole week with road car testing, and they changed a lot on the track compared to last year. So again, it's new compared to last year. Some parts are new. You always have to prepared, and you always have to get into your rhythm again.
That's the thing. I think people don't realize, do they, that it's that long that even without those changes that you're talking about, the weather can be completely different, can't it, at different points around the circuit?
Yes, I had a bad experience back in 2016 when we first raced the 24-hour race with our TCR car with the Golf. And I had a huge accident near Arenberg. It's a very fast part of the track, and you have to drive every single lap.
My
God, that's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, but
wow.
I really love this track, and to be honest, for me, the best racing there.
Yeah, I think we all do. Apart from Gabby, do you? I mean, we'll go into the fact that you've had some highs there at times as well, but this seems to be like your nemesis, this circuit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can say that I'm not a fan of the Nordschleife because I learned this track very, very late in my career, and it was not easy, especially because I don't use a simulator. So I try to understand the most of the corner, but it took for me a long time, and it's not my favorite track. I mean, in 2018, even when I won the title, I score 000 on the races there. So
yeah, not easy at all. No. So last year was our 5th race weekend when we took to the Nürburgring. It was a beautiful day when we had race 1, finally, because actually the boys tested, the weather was so changeable leading up to it. And race 1 was their first dry session of the weekend. So it was really wet, really miserable conditions. But great qualifying for Esteban Guerrieri and Norby and Bebu. You qualified P3, didn't you, for race 1?
Yes, I qualified P3. Really, Nordschleife in wet condition is another story. I would say it's one of the most difficult try in dry condition. Imagining wet is really scary, challenging, a lot of blind corners. Also, it took a lot of time for me as well to learn all the track. I did only 2 races during my career in Nordschleife, once in 2017 in WTCC, and my second one last year with the WTCR. So yeah, it was really challenging, but we managed to be P3 in qualifying, and it was a very good result. Unfortunately, I couldn't go out in the second qualifying because my level of the exhaust was too high, so I was penalized to stay in box. I couldn't go out, so it was an easy weekend, but at least in the wet condition, we were doing very good.
So 27 cars started on the grid for race 1. 4 out of the 5 top drivers in the championship at that point were all sitting at the front. So it's 3 laps because it's so long. It's an enormous challenge around the circuit. They start around the GP circuit for a warm-up lap before then lining up on the Nordschleife ready to go. You're not allowed tyre warmers here, are you, Benny? So how much does that affect those first few corners?
Yeah, of course, it's a big effect. I mean, usually when we have endurance races, you have a very long introduction lap, formation lap, to warm up your tires.
And we saw, as you said, those first few corners. It was a great start from Norby, who actually started on the wrong side, if you like, because he took the lead from the Honda boys. Bit of trouble for Ivan Muller, who got bumped. I can't remember who that was, but that broke his steering, so he was out of the race. Bebu, you immediately moved to defend from Fred Vervish, but you didn't keep your P3 for that long because Fred stole it back, didn't he?
Yeah, I received a hit from behind in T2. So, yeah, was a little bit, but just moved my line, and Vervish overtook me after this touch. But anyway, then it was a big fight between Vervish, Huff. It was the most, I would say, the most difficult race for me in my career when I have to make the decision that we will see later on. But it was a really hard decision that I had to do at the end of the main straight.
It was incredible. We will come on to that very shortly. Gabby, at this stage, you were going pretty well. You're P5. I think you started in P10, didn't you? So at this point, you were going all right.
Yeah, it was very good. First few laps, the car feels very good. In qualifying, I was very happy because I never run in the Nordschleife on the wet, and thanks to Benny, because I met Benny on qualifying. I try to follow him even if he was much faster than me, but I can gain a lot of lap time, especially following his line, because he's one of the specialists, especially in the Nordschleife, in the wet Nordschleife, and I had a very good qualifying.
Now, as you guys can see right now, Bebu, just talk us through that moment there. You have the power. That's like where slipstream totally comes into it, isn't it? That's dotting a her. You were battling with Fred. Rob comes up behind you and just basically thoroughly enjoys the slipstream from the both of you.
Yeah, the funny thing that I never saw Rob coming, so I was fighting very close with Verbish. There is a play to play there. There is some slipstream that go out when you move the line, so you need to be really close to the others. To try to overtake. It's not easy, but at the moment in the first part, when we saw the video, fighting with Verbish was really fair, but then Rob took our slipstream and could overtook us in the end of the straight, and this is the most difficult moment what we are seeing now with Rob. It was the last lap. I was preparing this overtaking for all the lap, trying to catch up him and be close at the beginning of the straight, and yeah, it was really hard because Rob also wanted to finish in the podium. He really needed a podium. He had not the best start of the year, so he played really hard but fair, and I think both of us deserve the podium, but I couldn't take it, taking a very big risk that deserved the podium.
Stefan, Bebu touched on a good point there, because that's, in my brain, that stretch is the most vital bit, isn't it? And I feel like the drivers have to make as little error as possible throughout the lap to get as close to the tail of or get as close to the slipstream of the driver in front as possible, don't they? So they can absolutely maximize that potential at dotting a her.
Yes, I agree. It's basically a drag race on the dotting a her. And I liked especially what was mentioned earlier, that you prepare the whole lap to just be spot on when you hit this long straight, because nothing else matters except this opportunity to overtake. And this is just, it's just incredible. 25 kilometers just to prepare to be in position to attack somebody. And what we've seen, I mean, the pictures speak for themselves. Absolutely mega racing, and I get goosebumps all over again when I see it now. And to imagine you guys are running 240, 250 kph, and you touch your wheels, bang. This is crazy stuff. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this.
And Benny, is that? Would you agree as well? Like, I mean, the smallest error, there's no time, is there, between the corners, because they come so quickly that there's no time. If you make one error in one space, then you're going to affect all of the next corners, aren't you, coming up, which is then going to have a much more of like a butterfly effect.
Exactly. The very first part of the Nordschleife, the Hatzenbach section, is a special section like this. It's the first. If you miss the first corner, all the other corners in this section you will miss as well. So you really have to come in the flow from the first corner as soon as you reach the Nordschleife, and then it's about the rhythm, to be in the flow, to get all in line.
Let's have a look at that bit again, if we can. Bebu, right. You must have had a discussion with Rob after this. Like, what was it like? You must have been so high on adrenaline.
Yeah, it was a big moment because at the beginning of the straight, I saw the spot. I took the decision to put two wheels almost on the grass. Rob respect me all the time, but he
gave you a bit of space, didn't he?
Yeah, but in this moment that my car moved a lot, it was because both decide to be as close as possible to slow down the other. You know, if you are far away, nobody can overtake. So you need to be really close to the fender to slow down the other, and then you have the opportunity to overtake. Look, in the first moment, I took the speed, then Rob close to me, touch a little bit, Then he opened again. I moved my line a little bit to the right, but it was side by side for many meters. And I have in my onboard, I have an oversteering when we touch a lot, and this was the scary moment that I think I was a little bit over the limit. I would say. I don't know if I will do the same again, because it's so scary with this car. We don't have a lot of downforce to touch like this. It's very scary. So I think at that moment I took the risk, but now it's difficult to do it again.
It's like a chicken dance, isn't it? Because like you were saying about, you want to get close to each other, but equally you have to sort of gamble with getting close and then moving out of that sort of side stream, don't you, to get away from it, but then you need to come in to make the most of it.
Yes, and you have to be really precise, because one small touch can finish the race and can be a very disaster. So it was close to have a, let's say, an accident, but I think with driver like Rob, you can play like this, because he's an experienced driver. He had a lot of respect. He was fair. So I don't know if I could do the same with different drivers. You have to be really, really fine and respect with your teammates.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. There must be some drivers that you would feel sort of safer to have that battle with, and I assume he would be one of them. Amazing. So it was P1 for Nobby Michelitz. It was a great result for the team, Gabby, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he made a fantastic race. I mean, he took the chance on the start. Our car sometimes start very, very well, and he drove fantastic. I mean, the car was even very, very good.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the race because my power steering broke on the last lap. But I mean, the car was there.
Yeah, and like you say, he had great pace, which would have obviously also given you faith in the car and in your car. P2 for Esteban, so he gained valuable points, didn't he, Bebu? That note. Let's take a look at our 2020 calendar, which we've released the provisional 2020 calendar. It's obviously very unusual times that we're going through, but we cannot wait to get racing again. Gabby, your thoughts on the circuits and the calendar?
Yeah, I mean, I will be back in Italy because I miss the Italian circuit. So it will be the new Adria, and nobody knows because it will be a new track. And I'm happy. I'm happy also to race in Aragon because it's a fantastic track. And the other track we know from the past season. I mean, we raced there many times, so I think it's a very good calendar.
Be nice to finish in Adria. I've never been to Aragon or Adria. I'm excited about going there. Yeah. And Bebu, you were a very strong contender last season. Are you a title contender for this season? And based, from your experience in the car around most of these circuits?
Yeah, I would say yes, because I learned a lot last year. It was my first year in WTCR. We were really strong with Esteban. I think I had a little bit bad luck, let's say, in Nürburgring and in Japan, where my engine blew off. So the calendar looks really nice. I know all the track except Adria. So yeah, probably will be really nice to go there and see the track before going for the final race. But I think it's the best decision that you can do, racing around Europe in this special year. And I'm really looking forward to start the season in Salzburg.
Benny, what's happening with you? Will we see you at all?
Not this year in the WTCR. So as Volkswagen decided to not go further, I have to step back as well. But maybe in the future, we will see me back on European car racing.
I think you should come to the Nürburgring when we're there anyway.
Of course, I will be there.
Just come and be in the pit lane so we can have a chat to you as well from our races, Stefan. So thank you all. We cannot wait. It's getting closer and closer. That's it for today's episode. From us all, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Bebu Girolami.
Thank you, everyone. It was nice to see you back. I hope to see you soon in Salzburg.
Thank you, Benny.
Thank you. All the best.
Thanks, Gabby. Grazie mille.
Thank you to all of you, and I will miss Benny Slipstream this year in North Life. So I must find some other very good driver in North Life.
Stefan, thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
And thank you all for watching us here at WTCR Rewind, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.